Author Nation, Jasper Nation, everybody out here in the generative AI space. I'm super excited to have you here today for our AI Author 2023 kickoff party. Now, today's call, I'm going to be going over a lot of stuff that we've got going on here at the AI Author and some really cool new announcements and events that we have that are coming up here the next few weeks. So I'm going to give a few seconds for some more people to kind of roll through here, and then we'll kick things off. But I would love to hear, as we're kicking off the call today, say hey and let us know where you're tuning in from. How's it going, Enrique? See Mark's in the crowd and Michelle. Good to see you guys here today with us. Got some cool stuff cooking. And we'll be posting this replay here for everybody, both inside of our new newsletter, which we'll talk about here shortly, as well as on our YouTube channel, where you'll be able to watch the replay too. So cool. I see a few folks. Gary here from California. Good to see you. Happy New Year from Austin, Texas. Good to see you guys. Gary in from Southampton. Tuning in from Los Angeles and Amsterdam, all over the place. Great to see y'all here. Let me see. See that Carlos asked real quick, because we do have, and this should actually is going to be updated here in a bit. But yeah, San Francisco event is still on for the Jasper Gen AI conference. And so, yes, that will be up and I will be at that. If any of you guys are going to be at the Gen AI event in San Francisco, February 14th, you can sign up. I think it's joingen.ai. I believe it gets you all the details over at Jasper. Cool. Well, all right, guys. Exciting. Elizabeth's already got her tickets. Cool. I'm great. I'm excited to see all you guys there that are going to be joining with us live. So cool. Well, let's dive in. All right. We've had an exciting few years here, haven't we, in the world of generative AI? And, you know, at the AI Author, you know, I've had the privilege really, and like the, to be able to say that I was the first customer of Jasper and been working with them since the very beginning, to help them develop the tool, but also exploring all the other really cool tools that have been coming up into our space and our industry over the past few years. And as you've probably seen, if you've been looking anywhere on the internet, that ChatGPT really let the cat out of the bag just a few weeks ago, and just kind of made AI go mainstream and spring up a lot of conversation in things like the ethics of AI. How are we using AI to improve our marketing, to improve our sales, to improve our messaging, improve our writing all around? And there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of noise in this space right now, which is kind of the what brings us here today to this launch party, because you know, one of our you know, real excuse me, mission since starting, not just with Jasper, but also just exploring AI for content in general, has been at the AI Author to help bring you guys the best in terms of experts, in terms of just content in general on the recipe side, and the most advanced trainings that we can bring, and really stay on the front lines of what's going on here. So if you're a Cookbook Plus member, which 500 or 600 plus of you guys now are members of our Cookbook Plus program, you guys are right there with us, you know, every week, every month, as we do these events and new things otherwise. But, you know, at the same time, there's also a lot of stuff going on around Jasper than just like learning how to use Jasper and learning how to use recipes, which is obviously where I believe that you can get the most out of Jasper with recipes and boss mode, and pairing it with these other tools, like even with ChatGPT, even with tools like Copy Pro, and tons of other AI applications where Jasper plugs in and it just helps streamline your content process in general. So what I'm going to be going over with you guys today is kind of what to expect from us here at the AI Author. I'm going to be bringing on Kelly Tenney, who has been a coach and educator inside of our community, and is going to be working on a few really cool upcoming workshops with us as well. We're going to be talking about a really cool project that we've got kicking off here in the next few weeks. But the most thing I'm excited for right now is today is the official launch of our Gen AI newsletter. And what this Gen AI Insider newsletter is going to be is really the curation of the best stuff that we see in the space on a weekly basis, in terms of updates, in terms of insights, and in terms of trends, and like what you can really expect from this space and how you can use this information that is happening so fast and it's changing and evolving at just an insane pace right now. But my team and I and the coaches and the people we're working with here at the AI Author are helping curate and contribute to bringing you guys the best of this information so you can make up-to-date informed insights, as well as just having access to the coolest stuff that's going on and not having to go and spend hours of your own time sifting around the internet to do that. And so I'm going to share my screen right now, and I'm going to walk you through the first edition of this newsletter because it's also extremely relevant to what you can expect from us in terms of content here over the next, the real 90 days of what we're doing here at the AI Author. And I'm going to just drop a quick link here because everybody inside of our author community right now, or Cookbook Plus, is going to get access to this newsletter. If not on this call, then shortly here after it. But anyone that's just interested even in what we're doing at the AI Author beyond just what we're posting on YouTube and our blogs and other things, this is going to be a taste of what you can expect on our front over the next year, and just to stay up to date and informed and in the know from people that are experts in this industry, delivering that right to you inside of our circle community. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a really quick post here, and then I'm going to drop in and I'm going to talk through, because over the next probably 15-20 minutes or so, I'm just going to lay out the cool projects and the assets and resources that you're going to get as a member of this newsletter, because this is not a fluff-filled newsletter. This is a lot of stuff in terms of content and like insights from folks all across the industry that are going to really help give you an edge in this space. And you'll see why as soon as we dive in, or I hope you see why anyways. This slash. So there we go. All right, perfect, guys. So in order to join this newsletter, it's only $8.99 a month right now, or $89 a year. So it's pretty minimal in terms of pricing. We did that on purpose to give you guys the really no-brainer access to be able to get access to this type of information if you're even just interested in the space and want it right from the source. So I'm going to share my screen now. And our newsletter is going to be circle, but this is also kind of an outline of what we've got going on, the tools that I'm going to be using and experimenting more with over the next few months. We'll be sharing those in our weekly updates here, but this is going to be a weekly newsletter that we're dropping, and it contains, like I said, a lot of the cool stuff, tools and things like that, and deals and stuff from all around that we find. And so at the start of this newsletter, and I greatly appreciate anybody's feedback as we're going through and expanding on this process. Again, Cookbook Plus members, you'll get access to this stuff after this call as part of your membership already. But I've been finding a bunch of really cool tools, and a few of these first ones I found up here, future tools, there's an AI for that, and Hugging Face. There's a few ones that I've seen just kind of like pop up randomly throughout my Facebook timelines that were really neat in terms of like these search engines, especially for like future tools. There's an AI for that people have put together to help curate these. So I figured it'd be easiest to just bookmark these links if I'm ever searching for an AI for a specific use case. I've already found a few that are really cool just by doing a few quick searches on top of here. And so those tools right here, as well as this Hugging Face one, was one for searching and finding prompts. So if you guys are interested in prompts, anything of that nature, then you're going to want to keep up to date with some of the latest prompts, and also how to engineer your own prompts as well. The second thing that we're going to be doing is a sweepstakes kickoff for all of our members and subscribers of the newsletter to help get the word out about what we're doing here. Back in the Scale with AI Summit back in September, we did one of these Stream Deck sweepstakes. We also did one for NaNoWriMo. A lot of fun, and people get an awesome Elgato Stream Deck. So details to all of that here are inside of this newsletter as well. And it's going to be a 2-week-long contest that I will open up to, I'm going to post this later after this call as well. Again, I just got done kind of putting this first bit just this morning as we hopped on here, but this is going to come with a or you're going to get an access to the latest AI author workflow, which if you guys use a Stream Deck, awesome. If you don't, it's a really great tool for streamlining and automating your productivity when you're writing, especially with Jasper in this case, because it's mostly built for Jasper and recipes and things like Boss Mode, but also just workflows in general. You can tap into different project management tools, open up links that you use a lot, and it's just a good time saver. And so I'm going to be it's like a $200 something value for the actual Stream Deck. And you put a value on what it's worth having, saving this much time with these type of workflows that's going to be given to you. And it's going to be the most updated one. And for anybody that's an annual member of our cookbook program, those workflows are available to you inside of your Stream Deck as well. So that's inside of here, and I'm going to be posting some more info about that giveaway with some more links. But Holy Prompts, right? So I don't know if anyone here is familiar with Justin Brook. Let me know if you guys follow the dude. Brilliant marketer and posts a lot of really valuable content. Well, if you follow Justin this week, he's the CEO of AdSkills, and he's been exploring the idea of AI a lot, especially with the whole Chat GPT and how to apply it for marketing. And so he made this post this week where he got Chat GPT to create marketing plans for AdSkills, defining the target audience, creating your USB, and writing brand tagline slogans, coming up with webinar topics, outlining a webinar presentation, and doing all of these structured prompts inside of Chat GPT. He got it to do this in about 15 minutes, which is pretty sweet. And so I went through and I played with some of the prompts, and they were really good. And so I decided that this would be this document, he just put it out there for everyone to go and grab. So if you follow Justin Brook on Facebook, go ahead and you can grab this from his profile as well. But I linked the document here to it, but I also went and turned it into a Jasper recipe. And I'm going to be adding in another video here this week or next to update the recipe a little bit more. We just finished it up yesterday. But basically turning his recipe that Justin made, his series of prompts, into an easy rinse and repeatable recipe. And that's going to be a bonus to anyone new joining the Gen AI Insider. You might already have a Jasper account. You can access this recipe, or you could just go through Justin's document and use the prompts for Chat GPT if you want to use that while it's still for free. So really cool post, and Justin dropped some really neat insights there. So I definitely recommend checking that out. And then we kind of get into a few of our contributor pieces. So we've got some members of the community. I know, Mark, you're here with us right now. Kelly's here with us. She'll be on in a bit. And Charles Gibson all shared some of their unique thoughts and insights on AI and a few different angles of this industry. So Mark has a piece here regarding article ethics of AI and the ethics space. And we're going to be crafting some of these pieces into more like PDF formatted. You'll see how it looks in just a second with this. And so again, this is week one. So we're going to continue to improve and build on top of this newsletter process as we go. But we're going to eventually, all of these new newsletter contributors are going to have their own spots kind of like this. If you're interested in being a contributor and are part of the community, then reach out to us. We're going to be working through an advanced submission process as well to help streamline the process, just make it easier for everyone. Right here, we've got a piece from Charles Gibson, another member of our community, on AI, addressing like the concerns of authors who are skeptical about leveraging AI and understanding how to use it for originality and plagiarism. So very top of mind, I think, right now. So thank you so much for submitting this, Charles. And that's going to be right here for you guys to check out. And we have another piece right here, AI Against the Grain with Kelly Tenney, who's just a minute. I'm just going to bring her on and we'll talk about our next thing. But Kelly's piece here really explores like AI in education, retail, restaurants, some other industries you might not initially think, oh, AI is going to drastically affect that, but it very much is. And so she shares some thoughts in her Against the Grain piece, and is going to be contributing pieces on her Against the Grain topic, exploring these sort of things, which we'll talk about here in a second. As what I'd love to talk about right now and have Kelly come on stage with us is our official announcement of the AI author teaming up with UC Berkeley Changemakers program. This is a really exciting opportunity, I think, just for exploring AI in the world of education. And Kelly Tenney is going to be helping me lead the charge in this case for building out this program and curriculum. And so I would love to kind of just take a pause here for a second, Kelly, and let's just talk a little bit more about what this program means with working with like a university like UC Berkeley, what AI means for education, and kind of what we're looking to accomplish in this course collaboration as we kick off the year.
Yeah, so I'm like all smiles. I couldn't be more excited to be able to, have the opportunity to actually bring AI in this world that all of us are in into an educational space. For any of you that have been to any of the workshops that I've done for Cookbook Plus, you know that I have 20 years of teaching college experience. And so it's really neat for me to kind of be like an AI nerd and have this hat on and to come from an educational space, because I think, Darby, I've shared this with you. When I first heard about Jasper, my first thought was, when my college students get a hold of this, like, what is actually going to happen, right? And when we talk about against the grain and things like that, like, I think we're starting to realize that AI is going to be everywhere. Like, it's going to be infused in everything. And so the exciting thing about this partnership with UC Berkeley Changemakers is recognizing that we're starting to embrace that part of changing, right? Part of going against the grain, thinking about things in a new way, is to embrace AI and really step into recognizing the role that AI can play in education. And Mark, you brought up some great points in your newsletter about AI in education. And, we can all think about the downfalls of AI in education, but this course is really going to be our opportunity to support AI and recognize that AI in education can really help close some gaps and really level the playing field. So, in this course that Darby and I have created, which is completely original, we were given the freedom to write the curriculum, which I'm really proud of. And Darby, I know that you've been able to bring so much of your expertise in, but we're basically going to be working with students who are in the UC Berkeley Changemaker program. They're going to come from all different degrees, so we'll have a really diverse set of majors, I think, from the students we're working with. And we're basically going to teach them how to use Jasper in various areas of their industries and their careers. So it's going to be a really exciting few weeks, I think, to be able to not only show them the capabilities of Jasper, but to really take a hands-on approach and allow them to, really start to practice how Jasper and how the power of AI can be used not only in education, but when they get out into the real world. And we're going to be focusing on 4 foundations: writing, using Jasper for writing, using Jasper for marketing, using Jasper for sales, and using Jasper for education. So I think it's going to be really exciting to see what they create. And I know Darby and I are going to be learning a lot of things along the way that we will be able to share with the community as well.
I do want to share with you guys, and that's why I included it inside of the newsletter, because this is step 1 in terms of this curriculum. Like Kelly said, like, we made this from scratch. We basically brainstormed for a couple weeks to like a couple months almost on how should this really start rolling out. And I'm really excited about where we're at right now, but the goal is to be able to build this to be such a flagship program that we can not only implement with a university like Berkeley, but what about other schools, high schools, colleges, middle schools, folks that are in just continuing their education beyond, college, in the workplace. You just are interested in AI and you want a really structured program that can help you step by step. That's not just a waterfall of information in like a 3-hour workshop. I think there's a lot to learn here and there's a lot to mastery, but it's infinitely, I don't think we're ever going to not at this stage right now. We don't understand how valuable these skill sets are going to be, learning how to be a prompt engineer, how to really scale up your content proficiency in writing inside of AI. And so I want to share with you guys like the actual program right here. And we don't have like an offer right now necessarily for like a totally separate group running through this, but this is the curriculum right now. We are going to be running it with UC Berkeley. So if you are interested in like joining in alongside what we're doing here, and actually doing the work, and there will be homework every single week, then let us know at hey@theaiauthor.com. But this is really the outline where, anyone could take this as like a really structured way to learn how to use Jasper for all of these core 4 pillars, right? And so Kelly, like you said, in week 1, we'll really be meeting Jasper, talking about what is AI, ethics of it, how AI thinks, benefits and advantages, in the future of when it comes, to change making in that regard. And then Jasper overview, and we're also going to have some Chat GPT and just AI, open AI sort of stuff in general, with this, because there's so many other tools just outside of Jasper that you can tap into. We want to have week 1 really be that foundational knowledge, and we're going to be using Jasper obviously as the primary tool here. Then week 2 is going to just lead into the writing with Jasper, and so we're going to be focusing more on like the fundamental elements of the writing, how to brainstorm, researching papers, blogs, editorials, product reviews and descriptions, those types of things. And we're going to be creating these micro courses around each one of these weeks, so it's very bite sizable. And I think, and chime in here, Kelly, if I'm off with the numbers, I think it's like 2 to 3 hours a week or so in expected like homework time leading into class. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then week 3, marketing. So kind of marketing 101, AIDA, problem solving, writing like ads and things like that with Jasper, and then using the mini VSL because that's so applicable to so many things, emails, video scripts, and more. And then we'll be going into the buyer's blueprint as well for doing just really in-depth customer research and creating content that solves a very specific need for your ideal clients and customers. And then week 4 is sales. And so we're going through like the email process, elevator pitch, like the $100 million offer recipe. And a lot of you guys have already seen these recipes like as they are, but we'll be walking through and creating advanced content around this. But benefit to the entire community is that after we kind of are going through this process, after the semester ends, this is all content that's going to trickle back down to the full education of everybody inside of the community. So really stoked to see what we can create here along with everyone that's going through this first round of this course. And then the last few weeks are going to be focused on the education part, and we're trying to tier it so that we're building up and kind of starting smaller with the blogging to building full on ebooks and micro courses, right? There's a big jump there. And so I wanted to save that stuff for a little bit later in the week, and then tying it all together with kind of a case study approach. So we're going to be documenting people that are coming in on week 1, especially at Berkeley. And if we do like have some extra folks come in, like how are you before you came into this, and then how are you doing after this, and then showcasing those case studies across different industries so that you can see how it's applicable and maybe it's like finance, maybe it's otherwise, because you have a few ideas on your end, I think, Kelly, for some industries that we'll be tapping into there. But it's going to be trying to structure this course so that it can be applied to as many different areas as possible while still honing your skill set and like generating great content faster using this AI. So I'm super stoked about that as well. And thank you so much, Kelly, for helping with everything on the curriculum side and just your contribution to the newsletter. So really appreciate you there. I'm going to go ahead and move on down the rest of today's announcements and inside of the newsletter, a few other things that I missed out on the newsletter that you guys need to be aware of. And we'll tune back into things. And I think it's important to highlight that, again, I'll add this back into the newsletter, but this is just general knowledge too. I'm just trying to dial it all in. There's so much stuff on this space right now. Is the Gen AI conference hosted by Jasper. And so if you guys are interested in that, it is in San Francisco, February 14th. It's a one-day event, and all the details are on joingen.ai. So go there for more info on that front. And I do want to have a quick update for everyone that is a part of our Cookbook Plus membership. And if you've been a Cookbook Plus member in the past, or you've seen our program and have been interested in it, been thinking a lot over the past month, 6 weeks or so about how to best serve and continue to add a ton of value inside of our community for those that are really looking to take their skills in AI writing and content creation to the next level. And for the past 2 years, I've been doing weekly masterminds with a small group from the community. I've kept it small intentionally to really focus on things like recipes and using AI for all sorts of things on a more advanced level. And we've called that the Recipe Rockstar Mastermind. And, it's a great group and it's a lot of fun doing it. And I think that over the last few weeks, what I've realized is that it wouldn't hurt anything. And I've talked to a lot of the members of that group and asked for their feedback directly, if they would like to keep this a much smaller container, or they'd be open to opening it up for a larger group. And kind of the consensus for this was, I'm going to be opening up our Recipe Rockstars Mastermind, not on a weekly basis, because right now we meet only for an hour every week, but about every other week, the first and third Tuesday of every month, not 1 hour, but two, starting at 2 o'clock Central Time. We'll be doing kind of 2-hour masterminds and workshops, because what I found is, like, for the level that I really want to start going with a lot of these trainings on the more advanced Jasper side, and pairing Jasper with other tools, is an hour is great, but you can only fit so much inside of that 1 hour. And I'm excited to see, like, how much more we get, like, trained, and, like, how much content we can go through, and how much training and we can really deliver inside of a 2-hour framework when working with Kelly in our last few workshops. Those are all both 2 hours, and we cover a ton of ground inside of those areas. So going to be doing first and third Tuesdays of every month. I'll be updating the calendar in the events area, so you guys can get access to those and the links for those calls. But these are going to be like an expansion. Again, like, we're talking recipes, but we're going to be talking, like, building recipes on every one of these calls, answering questions from the community. You can submit your questions beforehand or on the call, and I'm going to have time on these calls to just go through people's Q&As and different use cases as you guys are submitting recipe requests. These are going to be the calls that we're going to be working through a lot of these recipes, kind of troubleshooting things, figuring out, why is Jasper doing this? Why is it not working like this? That sort of thing. And so that's going to be coming up, and I'm excited for that to be the next stage in the evolution of our Recipe Rockstar Mastermind. And that brings us to kind of the idea that is everything and part of everything we do at the AI Author, and how we are approaching generative AI for content creation as a whole, is the advanced reader's manuscript of the AI and the rebirth of writing is now open, and it's available for an advanced readers club, which you can access through this link right here. It's going to open you up to this separate circle space with have a bunch of other content that you can access in terms of the AI writing stuff. But this is probably I'm hoping about 3 to 4 weeks out, about a month away from the final manuscript being ready for its launch. And so this is going to be, over the next 2 weeks, a period for everyone to get in and see, like, what this book is all about. But it's important to note, with this book, it's like a direct, supposed to be directly worked with our auto scripting course. We've spent, my team and I, we spent a lot of time with the past few weeks breaking down the contents of the book and the course into, like, really step by step. You can follow along the stuff that's written down, obviously, but also each of the recipes and all the things inside of the micro course, like the mini VSL recipe, the Twitter threads recipe, the buyer's blueprint recipe. So I've added all of those in, like, text form as well inside of this book, because like quite frankly, these prompts are really powerful, and more people that are learning about AI, like, this is, I think, like, probably the best place to learn about how to use all these prompts, how to use Jasper, like, what is generative AI, how to use creation, making, better content all around. And so the Advanced Readers Club that is open right now, and I do have a hard deadline on this next round of feedback. If you are interested in reading the manuscript, going through the course, you get access to everything that's going to be in the course and the book. And it's all, just if you're subscribed to either the Gen AI Insider newsletter or the Cookbook Plus. So that's out, and that's going to be a resource that's just going to be out there for everyone to tap into, especially that's learning about Gen AI and how to use all of these AI tools. Fundamentally, this is the best place to start. And I think those of you that have gone through our auto scripting micro course can attest to that. And so this book is the next step in getting this message out to more people. Closing in here at the bottom, and I'm going to touch on now AI in authorship. So announcing officially, this is the first time that I've made this announcement right here live with you. And inside of this newsletter, is the spring book challenge is going to be happening in the month of March. I don't have the exact dates yet, but it's going to be a challenge held over the course of March. We started out with our original 7-day book challenge way back just about a year ago. The first book, the one I wrote with Jasper over the weekend that kind of kicked this whole thing off, definitely changed my life in terms of, understanding what AI was even capable of 2 years ago, just about to the date, is had to write a book with AI. We started with a 7-day challenge, found it's doable. People can do that. 15, 20, 25,000 word expert books, no problem, especially if you have some proficiency. Clearly if you like are brand new and have no idea how to use Jasper and like don't even know the process to begin with, like finishing it in 7 days like might be a bit more of a stretch. But 30 days is like a lot more doable. And what I found is that like the amount of momentum you can make in those first 7 days, you can carry that over the next few weeks and like really put the finishing touches on your manuscript, get it into an editor's hands, start getting into advanced readers, getting that feedback that's so necessary for that case. And so we're going to be spending the month of March focused on writing books with AI. We're going to be talking fiction. We're going to be talking nonfiction. And this is going to be an exclusive event inside of our Cookbook Plus community. There may be one-off tickets sold. I haven't confirmed any of that just yet, but that is coming up in March. So if that's something, if you got a book inside your head, if you want to learn how to use AI to not only write a book, but learn how to use it for tons and tons of content, then this is going to be the challenge and the place to be for March to really take a quantum leap in your ability to not only write with AI, but come out of it with a book that can actually like build your business. How cool would that be? So stay tuned for more info there. And almost our last bit on the newsletter piece today is AI and fiction. Now, some of you may have been aware, some of you may not, that NaNoWriMo was in November, hence the November novel writing month. And I decided to challenge myself over this past November to see like, okay, I've had this idea for this book Pitchlandia in my head. It's based off of like the story in the world around a board game that I helped create a few years ago called SideHustle, the party game for entrepreneurs. But this is like the world and the backstory behind that. And so I've had this story in my head for years, and I've been developing it and working on it and writing it inside of Jasper in a lot of ways, but it wasn't ever organized and it wasn't ever set up and structured to like be what it needs to be. And so I said like November, I'm just going to knock the whole thing out, at least the first draft of it. And out of that has come volume 1, which is almost ready for advanced reader consumption. We'll be going to turning it into a full complete book and publishing and all of that stuff. But what I realized in coming out of like writing this book and using the hero's journey recipe, the save the cat recipe, like learning that whole process in general was very eye-opening. And I filmed the entire thing. We're turning it into like a mini documentary kind of training walk along, so you can see the thing actually getting built in process and follow along yourself with your own writing. But I realized how many different prompts, commands, recipes, and like the byproduct of this book was that like I've got hundreds of different prompts, all these different recipes, and this training that has like leveled up my skill big time. And not only writing fiction, but just like using AI to write better, like, stories and continue and write that fiction element with it. And so I'm stoked about that. And I realized that this book would be super valuable for just anybody in our community or interested in using AI for content, right? Because of the prompts that are in it. So my team and I are in the process right now of breaking down the book in Living Writer and turning it basically into its finished product, with the bonuses being you get all like the commands and prompts that we used inside of the book, or at least all the ones that we were able to document and find. But it's going to be a beast of the book. This thing is going to be well over 60,000 words. And so it's going to be kind of chunked into a couple different sections, as well as having places where you can simply just access the recipes and access all of the commands. But like I literally, if you can take a look, there's a lot of content in here, so I don't know how slow it's going to be. But I literally use Jasper for every single element of this book, from introducing the introduction of writing the VSL, which will be premiering the commercial for it later this month, to writing out an entire, basically like a hero's journey for the legend of Richard Rockefeller here, where I had Jasper basically walk me through the entire hero's journey of the main character, Rich Rock, and have this huge character developed that people were just like, have been just like, I know so much about this character. I'm like, but you didn't know that AI like had a big part to do in writing that. But you'll be able to use all of the commands and prompts inside of these outputs for your own character development, for using inside of your own stories, for creating your own customer avatars, things like that, and all across the board. And so as you can see, a lot of indications here with the content. You see we still got some work to do on the editing side, but who does Richard Rockefeller admire? Insert your character name. And these are all Jasper generated outputs, right? You could plug these into Chat GPT if you wanted to. I still think they work best inside of Jasper because you can have these entire recipes, but you're going to be able to have access to all of these different prompts and be able to use them for yourself, and a lot of entertainment along the way. Because part of the idea behind this book was like having all these characters have ridiculous side hustles, and so I used an AI prompt to help generate like dozens of these different characters that Jasper helped generate, by the way. And I think we'll have some of those prompts as well for different side hustles for all these characters. So really entertaining project, fun to work on. It's been a blast to share it with you guys inside of the community. And I'm excited to get it out to y'all once we are ready for that as well. So last but not least, and then we'll kind of wrap things up here for today's call, is a bonus for you guys. And I want to show you guys how to use this bonus, because this is been one of our most popular recipes to date. Came out probably like over a year and a half ago, but we now have a 2.0 version of the hero's journey, the same recipe that was used to help generate, basically the outline for that book that we were just talking about. But this is a 2.0 version of this recipe. And what I did when I was thinking about last week, really, is like, I seen a few people asking about the hero's journey, mentioning it on some YouTube comments. Is like, man, like that's actually been like one of our more popular YouTube videos as well, and one of our more popular recipes across the board. And so I was like, we didn't know what we knew about how to use Jasper back then. And so this recipe now is essentially, as kind of, a bonus for all of y'all on the call to see how it works, but you can access it here inside of the newsletter. When you open this recipe up, it's similar to the 1.0 that you can find, I think it's on Jasper's blog as well. But for this one, similar in terms of just like the content up here, but there's a few key differences with this recipe that I want to, just kind of shift a moment to education aspect of like how to work with AI content in just generative AI in any way, is it all comes out with like the level of the context that you're putting into the AI that helps with its outputs. If you put bad inputs in, you're going to get bad outputs. If you put really, really good or great inputs in, you're going to get potentially really, really great outputs, right? And so understanding what to put in is what people are calling prompt engineering. And if you go through the AI and the rebirth of writing and the auto scripting micro course, it's what I call is the process. What we teach is a process called auto scripting, which is prompt engineering plus command stacking plus doing things like this, which is taking those ideas and turning it into your entire recipe. But it all starts, again, like I can't stress it enough, like with the context, and that starts with the content brief. So this recipe is including a content brief that was created in collaboration. I was doing a project with John Benson, and that one was for like an avatar diary project. So it was like writing it like from the perspective of your customer avatar, how they're feeling, what their problems are, that sort of thing, what their solution is, all that sort of stuff. But this template has been a huge help in terms of like really getting better outputs out of a recipe like this. And so I've included that inside here, and it's all you need to do to start this recipe. And I'll walk you through so you can see how simple it is when you really get in. You can say avatar, like I'm going to say like dog owners. Topic, I'm going to say dog breeding. Niche, dog training. Primary goal, train their pup. So I'm just going to add that in as the general context for Jasper to pick off of first. And then with that in mind, you can roll on right down here by just filling in 4 simple things: your avatar, your topic, your niche, and your primary goal. Now, with this command and this content brief, what you'll notice is Jasper is going to start helping you fill out these pieces of information, because this is all critical stuff. But before I run this command, this is like an output, right? This is an avatar research exercise for a keto weight loss diet in the form of a personal diary. It applies to, right? And I just want to like woman over 40, right? And so like avatar who wants to, lose fat put on during their child rearing years. Like this was the content brief template that John Benson had put together. So you can see all these different variables. You could fill them out yourself, but it's often a holdup when it comes like that. Writers like what is the big problem? What is the symptom of the problem? Well, if you just click compose now, Now Jasper is going to start replicating that content that we just have above here, but it's also going to start filling out the problems, the symptoms of the problems, things like that. This is an exercise for dog breeding in the form of the hero's journey. This applies to dog owners who want to train their pup to better understand the nuances of well-behaved canine, of raising a well-behaved canine companion. This matters because they find themselves overwhelmed by the complexity of training their pet. Their lack of knowledge is causing them to spend too much time and energy teaching their pup basic commands, right? So this is like an example of how you could use AI based on a few of these variables and prompts in the content brief to expanding on that a little bit here. So again, you could run it again and again if you wanted to. And just for example, it's as simple as clicking Command J. Struggling to have a balanced relationship. And again, you're the arbiter of what's true or not here. So you realize like, hey, Jasper's on the right track. Jasper's not on the right track. So I actually like this second one better. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this content brief. I'm just going to go ahead and replace what was up here. Keep it under that 600 character count. Oops. Keep it under that 600 character count. And now Jasper has this additional context, and I'm going to go ahead and slap this visceral emotional language tone of voice on here as well. But yeah, once you've done that, again, it took me 5 minutes of my time. It can take you even less once you roll through how to use this this recipe. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and now here's where the fun begins, because every stage of the hero's journey, right from ordinary world, a call to adventure, all the way to the very end of the journey, has these different like areas that we use Jasper to help us brainstorm. And before, it was as simple like, okay, I'm just going to run this one command, introduce their homeland. The protagonist of the story is a dog owner who has high hopes for their pup and wants to build a strong relationship with them. They're looking for more information, right? And so like Jasper's going to start, and you could do this, right? You could run the command and you could just hit Command J, and there we go. We've got an output. But what if there was a faster, more efficient way to do that? Well, with command stacking, I believe there is. And so with this new recipe structure, we can now run all the top commands. You just need to make sure that it's saying stuff that's like online with where you're at, or you just rerun the command. But all you need to do now, instead of running 10 individual commands and like doing that, you can go down here and you could literally just click compose, right? Command J. And now Jasper is going to start referencing introduce character's homeland, and down here, dog owner's homeland's an ever-changing environment filled with confusion, stress, and guilt. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. If you don't like it, you go up here and you just click Command J. It's the hero's journey of a devoted pup owner living in a bustling city of commotion and noise, right? But notice here, this next part, make parallels. Jasper, once it's on the path of like seeing this pattern and it knows where it's heading, it's going to start to build off of each of these commands. And at this point, I just need to click Command J if I like where it's going. And Jasper is now auto scripting my hero's journey in the ordinary world. And now I just need to go through each phase of this. And I mean, I'm talking about like completing this recipe with the same quality, if not better, because Jasper's, just keeps getting better in a fraction of the time. And then you can add your own commands and prompts in here as you do. But, what are their capabilities? Like, what are their flaws, right? It's answering all of these different questions as we go through. And so that recipe is now available for you as a member inside of the cookbook, as well as the Gen AI Insider newsletter. So we'll be doing some more trainings on that as well. But at the end of the day, guys, like this is week 1 of January 2023. We are at probably like the most exciting time to ever be a part of generative AI. And like the world we live in right now is amazing, right? Like just like the amount of companies and products and opportunities that are they're going to come out of these different tools that are just going to make our lives better and easier if we know how to use them, is like never before in history. So I'm excited about what the future has to hold. And I'm excited to bring you guys the latest and greatest of the info that we're learning here back to y'all inside of this newsletter, inside of our channels, and inside of our Cookbook Plus membership. So guys, we're coming up here at the top of the hour. This is just, again, like step 1. We've kind of had a little slow month and a half or so. for December. But again, a lot of exciting news and updates to come. Subscribe to the Gen AI Insider newsletter, linked right here. If you want to be up to date, be involved with the community, content like you just saw throughout this call, I'm going to be working to build the process, the team, and everything, and on the contributor side to bring the best of the information with you guys every single week. Obviously, we're going to continue to host events, and we're going to continue to push, what's possible with these tools to ultimately grow our businesses, speed up slow kind of processes, and got a few more minutes left here, so I'm going to check through some of the comments and see what you guys got. And if you guys have any questions or otherwise, please feel free to drop a comment on here. Let me know. All right. CS Sloan asks, Darby, go over the cost of Cookbook Plus, and does it include the Gen AI newsletter? Cost of Cookbook Plus at its current membership rate is $97 a month or $9.97 a year. It's a steal for those of you that are using AI professionally and are looking to scale up your workflows to save time and make more money. If you're not in business yet, and like you're just dipping your toes into AI, and you're looking for a place to get started with getting your feet off the ground, this is going to be a really good membership and community to start with as well. Because while we have people on the professional side that are using AI for like agencies and otherwise, there's also training inside of this community. It's going to help you from the very start of your AI content journey, starting content for your first business. I mean, like I'm telling you guys, I did not make any content for my business when I was an Amazon consultant for years. I would only write listings for other people's Amazon listings. All my time was doing that before Jasper. And then I wrote a book with it on my expertise and used that to get some more clients. I was like, wow, I would much rather learn how to use AI for all of this other type of stuff and using it to build my own business than always doing it for agency freelance work. So that was how I kind of started to dip into the space. And it all started with writing a book. And so as a Cookbook Plus member, you're going to get the whole 7-day book challenge course. You're going to get the AI author workflow workshop so you can learn how to use AI better. You're going to get access to the micro course that I've done with Kelly, and we're on our part 3 right now. But all of these courses and workshops around, unlocking your brilliance is coming up. But just using Jasper to create a micro course that educates and gets you clients, or educates and up levels your clients to other products or services you have, all of that content's going to be in Cookbook Plus. And so $97 a month, $9.97 a year. And we do actually have a quarterly plan now at $247 a quarter. And that does include the Gen AI newsletter. But again, so all Cookbook Plus members, that's going to be available to you after this call. But if you are just interested in staying in the loop, maybe you've subscribed before, but you're not using AI to the level that you're taking our workshops and events and recipes, then this would be a good place for you to plug in as well on the Gen AI newsletter side to just stay up to date. And you'll get some access to some of these recipes as they come up, kind of these bonuses that get thrown in as well. So, and if you guys do want to subscribe to Cookbook Plus, the link, you can go to theaiauthor.com. Realize I didn't even say that before. So thanks for calling that out, Blaine. You guys go to theaiauthor.com, and that will get you all the information for what's inside our Cookbook Plus membership. Good question, Marcel. And again, we've got so much stuff going on here. Some of this stuff just slipped my mind this morning. We're talking about it. Last week, about a week and a half ago, actually, I'm working with a partner of mine who has an AI, micro coaching, AI for micro coaching, and a really, really cool process for helping people really see tangible results and their coaching process. And we're going to be creating an experimental case study writing group using this micro coaching approach, a 2-week case study, 15 minutes a day. We've capped it at, I've let 5 more folks in. And so it's at 25 instead of just the 20, which I initially announced it at. Some people are going to make one day or the other, but it's still there was over 245 applicants to it. And so having to sift through all of that and pick out the final 20 to 25, there was there was a lot of the people obviously interested in this experiment. It is filled up right now. And that experiment and everything like that is also going to be available inside of our Cookbook Plus community once it's done. And that's starting on the 9th. So that's starting this next week. And we're going to learn a lot from that process. And then that's going to definitely facilitate, just understanding of where we need to take things next as we go down the rest of the year. I see Bruce. Yeah, the beta class. Yeah, with Ofer Breyer. Yeah, the class is already filled up. So not any openings right now, guys. But like again, like there was over 245 folks like last time I checked yesterday that had applied. So I absolutely see us opening this up to more people and like depending on how this goes. But again, this is very much the first beta group that we're working with. So we didn't want to just open it up and like, risk not being able to like really dial things in with a smaller group first. Yeah. Michelle, you asked, I remember the AI author, but how do I know if you're signed up for Cookbook Plus? Shoot me a message at hey@theaiauthor.com so I can confirm. But if you are a member of the AI author, I think our only membership right now is that AI author Cookbook Plus one. It might not necessarily say Cookbook Plus or not, but that's the circle space that we host all of our events in. Let me check some of these other. So another quick question here from Bruce about ChatGPT using the 3.5. Jasper's still using the 3.0. I saw a post from Dave the other day. I need to go back and see if there's any update on it, but I know that they're right there with the 3.5. I don't know all the details off the top of my head, but I mean, as these different variations and stuff get opened up, Jasper is going to be the first one to be able to like continue to like get access to the latest versions of GPT as they become available. Cool. Let me see if there's anything else we got here. A lot of excitement about the book challenge coming up. Yeah, it's going to be fun, especially like, guys, like prepare yourself for going into an event like that. Like if you haven't done one of these book challenges before, like working on the idea and just the content brief idea even and like the general outline going into a book challenge like this is going to put you way ahead in terms of like being clear, because we always start about like starting with the end in mind. And it's the same way when you're writing with these AI tools, is like, what kind of output you want. You can kind of reverse the process getting there, and that helps guide the AI. Well, it's the same process with your book, especially if you're using a book for business and stuff and educating people. You need to be clear on where you're taking people at the start to where you're at the finish. So leading up to an event like this, just get really clear as you can on who you're going to be writing this book to, what you want the book to be doing for you. And otherwise, let me see what else we got. Again, guys, wrapping things up here. See, go ahead and subscribe to the Gen AI Insider newsletter if you haven't already. That's where you're going to be getting more and more of these updates and everything like that around Gen AI insights, trends, and more. And you can also connect with people inside the Circle community. It's kind of cool about Circles. Like you can network with other folks inside of there. It's kind of like its own social platform. You can make your own profiles and see what other people are doing in this space. So I'm sure, out of this group, even just specifically, that opportunities are going to come just from people connecting and networking inside. So see a question here. Again, I was sharing my screen, so I didn't get a chance to check these earlier. Is the Berkeley Changemaker program available online? As of right now, again, January 5th, right, noon, Mountain Time, it's not available for other people to enroll outside. It's just specifically for UC Berkeley Changemaker students. But with that in mind, I know Kelly has some folks that are interested in like participating in this program from her own communities. And so again, this is the first time that I've announced it. And so if there is enough interest from you guys to go through this program as well alongside us, please email us at hey@theaiauthor.com and let us know. And we'll figure out what the details of that, and we'll be announcing any more details on that over the course of probably the next couple of weeks for sure, because that's going to kick off last week of January, first week of February. I see a few questions regarding like the curriculum bit. Yeah, cool. Well, we'll give you guys some more updates on that Changemaker program as well. I'm super stoked for it again, like really excited about that. See a real quick question. Oh, this thing keeps going away. Oh, that's why. Yeah. Question: is there a place to access the Gen AI inside of Circle? Yes. So I'm going to be opening that up. I just didn't have the time this morning to add everyone in as I jumped on this live. It will be inside a Circle here. I'll get that to you guys here in the next hour. Hopefully, if I can figure out the just getting added in. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for being here with us, Bruce. Great discussion. Yeah, excited for a lot more of it. And having you guys as part of this leading the charge here. It takes a community, and a lot of us are learning and contributing a lot of things. And so I'm excited to see where things go this year. And the March is the next book challenge again, Daniel. So March, I'm going to be announcing the details of that curriculum a little bit more over the next probably like month or so. But yeah, we'll have a lot of updated stuff for you guys, some more recipes, more trainings. We're bringing more publishing experts, fun all the way around. Right on. Bruce, another good question. Have you seen any difference in the quality of outputs between Chat GPT and Jasper? You know, I have. I've noticed it's been interesting because like I've played around a little bit with Chat GPT, and I've heard people saying it's being more relevant. Like I'm still like testing it out because like I honestly spend way more of my time inside of boss mode than I even do Jasper Chat. But I'm trying to like kind of keep an open mind with it and see like where can I use it, because we're going to be doing a workshop here in the next few weeks with John Benson on like AI for like offering like full funnel builds and stuff and using the tools together. And that was a big question of like where does like Chat GPT like fit in specifically versus where does Jasper fit in. And what I've heard though with that in mind is like on like the storytelling narrative side that people are seeing, and again, test this out for yourself. I've been seeing people getting better, more like longer conversational threads, and potentially Chat having a farther look back than Jasper as of right now. I can't confirm that, but I have seen some folks that are saying that Chat can reference some stuff a little bit further back and like keep a conversational narrative going. But I haven't tried that directly with the same stuff side by side. So as you guys like learn about this stuff, please do share. All right. Yeah, Michelle, super stoked. Writing the micro course. Yeah. And that part 3 workshop is coming up. When's it coming up? On the 11th? Yeah, the 11th, I think. Yeah. So it's going to be on the 11th, and we'll be posting some links to that. It will be available for just like single purchase if you guys just want the workshop, but you'll also get access to it as a Cookbook Plus member. And with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here at the top of the hour. It's been a pleasure being on here live with y'all. Kelly, thank you so much for joining me and sharing a bit more about the Changemakers program. Thank you all for being with us here live. And if you're watching the recording, thank you as well. Super excited about the time we live in, right on the cutting edge of artificial intelligence, generative AI, and all things. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the AI Author Generative AI Insider newsletter. Call it Gen AI for short. That's where you're going to keep getting these weekly updates, tips, trends, insights from experts in our industry to keep you informed and up to date with all the latest and greatest in generative AI. And if you are interested in working with us on a higher level, bi-weekly workshops, monthly, boot camps, things like that, high level Jasper recipes, and our full community, go ahead and visit theaiauthor.com, subscribe to the membership plan that works for you, and we'd love to see you inside of our full Cookbook Plus community as well. Until next time, guys, it's been a great call kicking off 2023. Excited for what the future holds. Everyone have a great weekend, finish off the week strong, and until next time.